Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joel Epstein. I'm a firefighter with San Diego Fire and Rescue. I'm here today with Captain Shanley from San Diego Fire and Rescue and retired Chief Hutchinson. She is the Fire Technology Director at Southwestern College. So we're down here, we're going to do a tour of their facility, but before we get started, we're going to talk about what a Firefighter 1 is, the importance of getting it, and why you would want to get it if you're trying to become a firefighter. So to get started, one of the most common questions that's asked about becoming a firefighter is, what is a Firefighter 1 and why would you need that? Could you tell me a little bit about the basics of what a Firefighter 1 is?
Absolutely. So I'm going to even add a word, accredited, because that's the importance of a Firefighter 1. What that means is the program is provided through an accredited regional training program, which Southwestern is. What that means is you are teaching through the standards of state fire training, okay? And so the reason you would want to do that is because all of the agencies look for an accredited program. And so when you go in for an interview, it makes you a highly qualified candidate if you have been through an accredited regional trainer. They know to what standard you have been trained to.
I see.
Okay.
Now, what kind of training do you get in a Firefighter 1 Academy?
So a Firefighter 1 Academy through State Fire Training, which is what ours is through, is three components. It's the Firefighter 1, it's wildland, and it's hazardous materials training. So in that program, you're going to get structure fire. They teach you about personal protective equipment, how to do hose lays. You're going to learn about how to fight wildland fires. You're going to learn how to respond to hazardous materials incidents. And it's the very basics that firefighters need to know when they get hired.
Can I just add something real
absolutely.
quick? I think that's important about why it's important if you have the opportunity to get a Firefighter 1 from a regionally accredited program, is because the Fire Academy just in itself is already strenuous, and you can take away some of the difficulty in passing the academy if when you enter the academy, it's not your first time seeing the equipment. So if a person understands what it feels like to pull a 4-inch hose off the back of a fire engine, or how it feels to take a 2.5 up a ladder, or what it means to do how to swing an axe, how to hold it, what position is comfortable for them. If you can work those things out before you go into the academy, you just increase your chances of being successful. So one of the things that it does is it allows you to put yourself in the position, put yourself in the fire academy, so that when you're there, you can pull from muscle memory some of the things that you may have learned. Now, let me just say this too, though. One of the things about being regional is that it takes into account, necessarily because people from throughout the region will teach here, and their way is taught in the fire academy. But what you will have to unlearn when you come to San Diego's academy is maybe the way that you've been taught. You may have to learn our way, but the good part is that you will already have been familiar with the equipment, and it just makes it a little easier.
That makes a lot of sense. So if you take, for instance, Southwestern's Firefighter 1 Academy, there's going to be emphasis, for instance, on wildland firefighting. Then if you get hired by a department in the county, when you go through their academy, you're going to have a basic understanding of what wildland firefighting is, and it's going to help you in their academy. So it's specific to kind of the region and what's important, what training is important.
That's definitely true. And let me just tell you about Southwestern's program, because we're offering a CAL FIRE Basic Academy. And so we have a list of courses. Ours is a modular academy. And I'll tell you the difference. A traditional academy is one that's 14 to 16 weeks. It's 5 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. And it's usually, if you've been hired by an agency, that sort of academy. Ours is going to be modular because what we've shown is that we need to attract the students in our demographic area. And a lot of them have different responsibilities. They have to work, they take care of family, and they could not afford to not have a job and go through an academy that way. So that's a really good thing. So it's our courses, semester-based, and CAL FIRE will come in at the end, and they will teach CAL FIRE's way. And so what we're essentially doing is really grooming students to go work for CAL FIRE if they choose to. Everybody doesn't have to go through that part, but CAL FIRE Basic Academy is actually a few courses short of our full academy, but you do get the CAL FIRE Basic with that because they come in and teach it. They have a 3-section ladder that absolutely nobody else uses. They talk about inmate crews, which are on the decline, but they still have them, and historically they've had them, and so it's something that they teach in their academy, the radio channels and all of that. But they come in and teach that, and then they are tested to CAL FIRE standards.
That makes sense. So how long is the Firefighter 1 Academy here? So
modularly, the reason we developed it that way is because I stated in the earlier question is because students need that flexibility because sometimes life happens. But if a student wanted to aggressively go through this program, they could do so in a year. And if they have their EMT already, it could be less than a year. But that means taking classes in the summer, during intersession, and then taking a full load, 12 units, all the other semesters.
So what you're saying is, like a traditional academy is 16 weeks, you're saying this academy is broken down over a year period so
That's
that
correct.
they can handle working and family life and going to the academy. Man, that's
Right.
amazing.
And the other
Yeah,
good
that's
thing about
amazing.
it is they really have time to absorb the information as well. When you go through a 16 week academy, it's every day. You're learning something new. You're being tested on that. Then you're learning something new that day to be tested the next day. So it's very rigorous and robust. And, and that's the way departments do it. And it works. But our academy, for people that need or want a little bit more time to absorb, at least they have days off in between that they can, study and get ready for the next day.
That makes sense. Yeah, because one of the questions that's frequently asked us is it difficult? What's the difficulty of passing the academy?
So in any case, it's going to be challenging because it's the same curriculum that a 14 to 16 week academy is. It's no different. But the difference, like I said, is that you have a little bit more time to absorb, to learn, to get it ingrained in what you're doing. But it's still challenging physically, mentally, emotionally. It's going to be challenging because even our academy, even though it's not every day, it's 5 hours, 2 days a week. And so, students are having to train that whole time. And so it's physically demanding. If you're not in good physical shape, you would want to do it for this academy.
One of the things that I find when I'm in the field talking to people, we have a lot of folks that are making transitions. Mm-hmm. I think we see probably around the country, but certainly in our city, we see people making transitions between careers, whether it's getting out of the military or leaving corporate America. We try to tell y'all, you don't want to sit behind a desk, but you didn't listen. So 10 years later, you guys come and go, am I too old? And I have to keep telling y'all, no, you're not. But you should have listened when you was 18. But we have people that are making career changes. And so one of the things that's really good about you having a modular program is that it makes that transition a little bit easier. Just imagine if you're 26 years old, 27, you're married, you got a family, or you're not married and you got other responsibilities and you have to set aside 16 weeks and pay for it and go through something and look at what you have to give up. And so a modular based program I can see would be a real blessing for somebody that is in the midst of a career change that can't just stop everything and finish an academy. So I think there's a lot of merit to having a modular program. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to point that out. I hear that quite a bit. And this is something that will fix that issue for a lot of people. It's good.
Now, is a Firefighter 1 Academy, is that like required to get hired by some departments, or
You
is
want
it
to cover
not?
this? Or?
So for us in the city, I don't know, there's other departments depending on where you go. One of the things I always tell people is don't ask another department about another department. Ask somebody from that department what their requirements are. That way you don't do a whole lot of stuff that you don't need to do. So for us, you do not have to have a firefighter one. All you need for us is the basics. So you have to be a high school, have a high school diploma or a GED, be 18 or older, and have an emergency medical technician certification that will have a CPR card attached to it. That's what you need to apply with us. But what Firefighter One and having Wildland Academy experience and all that, what that does is it makes you a more viable candidate. It puts you in a position where you may stand out. That's a question we get a lot. What can I do to stand out? Well, if you have time, you should probably go get a Firefighter One. The reason why you would want to do that is because it shows, it demonstrates to the employer that whoever you're going to that you have invested something in this career, that you're serious about doing it. It may cost $50,000 for for us to put you through the fire academy. So the more we can see that you have invested, the better off you'll be in an interview setting. But you do not have to have one, and we have hired people that do not have it. But if you have the ability to do that, then we always suggest that you do it. And it's not just to make you stand out, but also to, as we said earlier, to increase your chances of being successful in the academy, because you've already felt the weight restrictions, the turnouts. None of that stuff is going to be new to you.
That makes a lot of sense. And what's the cost? Obviously, these things cost money. So what's the cost with putting yourself through this academy?
Okay, so I'm just going to, for comparison, I'm going to give you a range that I see in the county and beyond. Is a firefighter academy can cost $3,000 to $5,000. I've seen it more on the higher end.
I may have seen I think I may have seen 7,000. I think
Yeah.
I heard somebody tell me they paid 7,000.
Yeah, so it could be very expensive. Our academy is around $3,500 to maybe $4,000, and that just depends on little extras that students may want to buy, just to, not things we require, but things that would be nice for them to have. The beauty of it is students can use grants and they can use financial aid to go through the program. And the nice thing with our modular academy is they don't have to pay that all at once. They pay by class. So I've broken things down where they pay for only what they need in the class. Now the first class, the first manipulative class is 150A, which is costs the most, because that's where they're buying their uniforms, they're renting a few PPE items that they need, and so that one costs the most, but it's spread over the semesters, and so it makes it very financially acceptable to people that may be watching their funds.
That makes sense. Well, that seems affordable compared to some of the other academies in the state or even in the county.
Yes.
One more question, then I would like to see get a tour of your facility here.
I'd love to show you.
This is I think it's important, and I know it's frequently asked to us. What is the importance of physical fitness prior to going into the academy?
Physical fitness is very important. Students are going to be taxed physically, and so if you're not in good shape, now you're having to learn things mentally and expend physical energy. You'll be exhausted by the end of the day, and what's more important than performing is recovering for the next time that you meet. And so the more physically able you are, the better it's going to be. So much that we have a prerequisite requirement before taking any of our manipulative classes, and it's I call it the gateway to our academy, FS10, and it's professional skills, so that it's got a physical component. It teaches you just really every little thing that you need to know before you go in this career, because it's not for everyone. Let's just face it, it's not for everyone. So if someone's thinking about a career like that, we put you through this first course, and then you can really decide if this is what you want to do. But yes, physical training is so, so, so important throughout the whole career.
Chief, we always say that in the academy, the way to be successful is to be able to do something consistently over time. Mm-hmm. And so that ability to learn new information, then incorporate it into the next day, and to be able to do it consistently over 16 weeks at our fire academy is a good recipe for success. So that's good stuff.
That's good stuff. I appreciate you both answering my questions. Can we do a tour of the facility?
Absolutely.
Let's get it.
So here's our new facility. It's not 100% complete, but it's almost. It doesn't have a sign up there yet, but it would say Public Safety Training Center. And it is a multi-use facility for PD, fire, and EMS. And it kind of looks like a fire station, right? This is our front office. And so this is where our academy coordinator will sit. We're also going to put in some cubicles for our facilities and equipment specialists. And so let's go on in. This is our apparatus floor. And this is split up between fire, police, and PD. This is PD's bay. They'll have 2 bays where they can put their cars. And again, excuse us because we're not quite finished. Okay, so the 3 bays that you see here are for fire. We have some other equipment coming. We have a Type 3, which is a brush rig on loan from CAL FIRE that will be coming back. And then we have a fire ventilation trailer that we ordered, which is going to be really state-of-the-art training for our students. They will have the opportunity to practice like cutting roof ventilation. They get to go outside and do it on the tower. So everything we do has a safety component. It's our 4-story tower. It is state-of-the-art. We have the vehicle here. We actually have a garage for it, but we may be using that for storage. But we have fire blast props inside the facility, and also the car is also fire blast. Here's our rehab area. This is rehab area for fire. This is where we can take students and we can talk about what they did. We can critique it, and this gives them the opportunity to be outside. We have fans, water, and things like that, because we really care about safety. It's really hot out here on this grinder, and so we want to make sure that when we're talking to students, they're not in the sun and heat. We can have them under a covered space. Simulate a room and contents fire, the bed on fire. So we're on the 4th floor. Next one is the roof, and we just have a nice view out here. So that brings us to the end of our tour. But if you'd like more information about our fire academy or our program, just log on to swccd.edu. And I thank you for your time. I've enjoyed it.
What an amazing facility. Southwestern College truly has a state-of-the-art fire academy. For more information, go to their website at swccd.edu. And for more information on how to become a firefighter, go to joinsdfd.org. Also, if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at joinsdfd. We're working real hard to put out more videos and content like this to help you in your journey to become a firefighter. As always, we appreciate your time and stay tuned for future content.